What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Horsepower Obsessed. Thanks for pressing play. Today we are going to finally get a really solid look at the C8 Corvette Z06 thanks to some spy shots. And man, is this thing ever freaking looking good. Alright guys, so before we get into the video today, if you could please go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. Let me know you are liking the content. Let YouTube know you're liking the content so I can keep making these videos for you guys. While you're at it, if you could go ahead and hit that subscribe button with the bell notification so you don't miss any future uploads like this, I would greatly appreciate it. Alright guys, so we get some pictures thanks to our friends over at the CorvetteBlogger.com. They actually purchased these pictures from a person named Brian over at Spied Build, and yeah, this thing is looking absolutely fantastic, guys. This is the first time we have seen this car in just tight body camo versus the heavy wrap. So yes, we are definitely going to be seeing this thing very soon, completely unwrapped, because the base C8 followed a similar suit where once we started seeing the car with tight wrapped camo to the body instead of the heavy camouflage with everything kind of covered up, we got to see it shortly after that. And we obviously already know we're going to see this car come fall of this year, so now Chevy is kind of a little less dedicated to hiding everything on this car, and it's obvious with these pictures. So we're seeing right off the bat, the car is pulling into the Nurburgring. So we're going to get some official Nurburgring times here soon too, and that's fantastic in its own right. But the car is totally visible. We have the bigger wing in the back, which actually looks a lot better than it has in previous spy shots because it's actually a lot thicker looking than it was in the other shots that we saw. It looks a lot more like the wing on a C7 Corvette ZR1, given that there's a lot more depth to it. It's still not necessarily my favorite shape, but it's still looking pretty good on this particular car. You could see the wider fenders in the rear with the much larger looking intakes to keep everything cool. Up in the front, we have a much larger looking front splitter with some dive planes attached. That's really cool. And in the very front, we can also see where the front license plate part is for the base C8 Corvette. We actually have some additional venting there. So possibly another radiator, possibly some more aero. Either way, that front end is a little bit more open than it was on the base C8. On top of all that, we have the wheels that look like they are carbon fiber. So if we look at it from the side, you can actually see the white porcelain lining the barrel inside to keep the heat off of the carbon fiber itself. This is the same exact design that we saw leaked online not too long ago. So these are definitely the carbon fiber wheels. We also have the carbon ceramic rotors right behind those wheels. Now, that is likely going to be a specifically Z07 packaged option. And if you're going to the track to test some track times and you're trying to put down your best possible track time, there's a very good chance this is in fact the Z07 packaged car. Possibly one of those Z06Rs or Z06Xs we talked about in the previous Z06 video here. Either way, this thing is looking really freaking awesome. I am so freaking pumped to see this thing because it is blowing my mind how much cooler this car is going to be than even the base C8, which is already a fantastic car. And from the side profile here, you can truly see just how much bigger that front lip really is on the front bumper. It is definitely going to provide a lot more downforce. With the dive planes in place, this thing is going to definitely stick to the track. Now, another interesting piece is the rear end of the car. It definitely has the center exhaust setup, and it looks like it's a much more finished rear diffuser because of that center exhaust. Now, we've seen a bunch of leaks in the past showing the center exhaust setup, but none of them have looked as complete as this one here. This looks like it is most likely the car, the production car we will get outside of the fact that it's covered in camo. Everything else looks like it is totally finished and ready to go, so I think this is what we're getting. Like, this is going to be the Z07 packaged car. On the rear bumper, we have that center exhaust with two vents beside it, and then on the very far ends, some aero pieces that would allow air to pass through the bumper. Right above those are the heat vents to allow air being pushed out of the engine bay. They're a lot smaller than they were on the base C8 because of the pass-throughs down below, so definitely a lot of different designing going into the Z06 here to make sure that that car stays nice and cool and it stays firmly planted to the ground. Now, from the back, you can also see there is the camo on top of the rear window as well to make sure that people can't see in there and see what kind of engine they're running, even though we already have a pretty good idea that this car is going to get the 5.5 liter flat plane crank. GM still doesn't want you spying in there and seeing too much, apparently. Again, from the rear, these wheels are looking super wide. We already know that they're going to be a 345 series Cup 2R compound tire that is just going to be absolutely sticky and perfect for the track. Something tells me this car is going to freaking dominate on the track. I have a suspicion it's going to be just a hair above 7 minutes around that ring. If it cracks under 7 minutes, then we are talking about an actual 100% supercar. There's something about the side view of this car that looks just absolutely fantastic to me, though. I love that larger front lip. I love the wheel setup. The wheels look really freaking good on this car. We've talked about them in the past. The fact that they're going to be carbon fiber might not necessarily be the best thing for the track, outside of the fact that they're really super lightweight, because they're not necessarily the strongest, but at the same time, God, they freaking look awesome. Now, these are likely to also be a 21-inch rear wheel and a 20-inch front wheel setup, so it's really making that car look shorter by giving it a little bit of a bigger wheel. Inside there, we are looking at gigantic freaking carbon ceramic rotors, though. They look massive behind those wheels. I mean, the rear wheel being a 21-inch is still almost completely filled up with that carbon ceramic rotor, so we have to be looking at 16 to a 17-inch disc in there, which would be absolutely freaking mind-blowing. I'm really digging the rear wing. I didn't like it at first glance, but I do like the fact that it looks like it's gotten a little bit thicker, so a little more wide on the car itself, and it looks more at place with this car than it has in previous spy shots. The big front lip with those dive planes is really just selling the fact that this car is a supercar. And then the side skirts look like they're more like a 3/4 length side skirt versus one that takes up the entire side like you could get for the base C8. I'm sure Chevy has gone through a lot of different things to make sure that this car is its own car and it's not just a base C8 with some extra things added to it. So I like to see that that side scoop looks a lot different than it does on the base C8. It looks like it's much wider, and the bottom part continues down further than it did on the base C8. Again, we talked about the fact that the car is going to have extra cooling to make sure everything stays under temperature while on the track specifically, but those larger side scoops and the fact that the front bumper is more opened up is definitely going to help with that. Guys, I want to give a big thank you to Corvette Blogger for grabbing these pictures and throwing this article up as fast as they did. It is an absolute fantastic looking car. I'm loving what I'm seeing. I hope you guys are too, because this car is coming soon and I can't wait to have it on the Horsepower Obsessed YouTube channel. The CorvetteBlogger.com actually mentions the fact that they think that this is a production-ready car as well. I already mentioned the fact that I think it looks like it is, but they agree. They think that this car is ready to go. Because we're going to be seeing it so soon, GM has kind of just taken all the camouflage off and just left it with a tight wrap camouflage on this particular car. Obviously, you guys know that GM has announced that this car will be revealed later this year, probably around the October-November timeframe. So, like I said, this is likely the car we're going to be seeing on stage very soon. But guys, what do you think? Let me know down below. What do you think of these spy shots of the new C8 Corvette Z06? Are you as excited as I am? I am freaking pumped here. Every time I see pictures of this car, I get more and more excited. And now we finally see one where the rear end is looking real wide, real cool looking spoiler. The wheels are looking fantastic. This car is absolutely blowing my mind right now. But let me know what you guys think down below. That is going to do it for today's video though, guys. If you liked what you saw, please give me a big thumbs up. If you have any questions about the content, shoot them in the comment section down below so we can have a conversation about this car. I am so pumped for it. I am more than happy to talk to anybody about it at this point. If you haven't subscribed yet, guys, please do. I'm going to have loads of C8 Corvette content coming, specifically 06 stuff that you are not going to want to miss. And as always, guys, I will catch you in the next upload. How would you like to win this Corvette? It may be a lot easier than you may think. If you guys aren't familiar with my YouTube channel, it is called Horsepower Obsessed, and I just recently hit 50,000 subscribers, and because of that, I wanted to give back. All you have to do is go to my website, horsepowerobsessed.com, scroll down and click on the HPO merchandise section. Every $10 you spend is one entry to win this beautiful C5 Corvette. So right off the bat, we have the black diamond wheels, which gives the car an amazingly updated appearance. In the front end, we have the entire bumper and hood covered with XPEL paint protection, thanks to our friends at Blackout Tinting. The rest of the car has been paint corrected and ceramic coated. So you are getting one of the best examples of what Chevy had to offer with Corvette with this specific car. If you want to follow along with the mods on this particular car until the deadline of the giveaway, check out my YouTube channel, Horsepower Obsessed, and make sure you get entered before October 12th, 2021, so you can possibly take this car home with you.